Hey guys, I have some really exciting news for you, and it has to do with this truck, the prototype you see behind me. This could be the next 2022 or beyond Chevy Silverado 1500 ZR2. So the next step in the off-road truck for General Motors and Chevrolet. I have all the images. This is a test vehicle prototype that we have spy images of. So let's dig in and take a look. Let's start with looking at the front of this truck and then go to the side, to the wheels and tires, some suspension components, and of course the rear end on this puppy. Why is this interesting? Why is this special? Well, this particular prototype has unique camouflage and also has a unique front end. So if you can zoom in right here on the bottom, you can see a very large skid plate right here in the front of the truck and no chin spoiler. And you might be saying, well, how is that different from other trucks that GM is working on and testing? Well, here's another image of what we think is the next Trail Boss 2022 or beyond model, and it has a small chin spoiler, as you can see here. Currently, the Trail Boss truck from the factory does also has a chin right there, a spoiler in the front. Of course, it's for aerodynamics and to get slightly better fuel efficiency, but this particular truck does not have that. Also has very aggressive approach angle and some cool tires. So is this the next Trail Boss, or is this something else like the ZR2? Well, I think there is a case to be made that this could be in the next level truck, something more capable than the Trail Boss. And especially right here in the profile view, you could see that these tires look a little bit larger than what's currently available on the Trail Boss truck. We've had a Trail Boss here in our fleet, a TFL truck, for about a year. It was a 2020 model, and from the factory, the current Trail Boss comes with a 32-inch tall Goodyear Wrangler Duratrac tire. This is a slightly different tire. I cannot, even by zooming in, I cannot quite tell the size of this tire, but it's still a Goodyear Wrangler, and it looks like a Territory tire, which is a new all-terrain tire from Goodyear. And it looks a little bit taller, a little bit larger than the Trail Boss, which is a great thing because Chevrolet has to have something to go up a little bit better against competition. Is this the next Ford Raptor fighter or Ram TRX fighter? Well, not quite. And the reason why I say that is because this does not appear to be a true wide body truck with lots of wheel travel. But you can see the fenders are covered, and the fenders appear a little bit wider than other prototypes we have seen. So this is why the ZR2 kind of makes sense, because the ZR2, if you look at the Chevy Colorado, the midsize truck from GM, it does have a slightly wider stance, slightly wider fenders. This may be a similar program that they're working on for the Silverado 1500, and I really wish that's the case. Also, there is a giant bulge on the hood. This could be just nothing. It could be, of course, just simply the camouflage, but it could also be hiding a really powerful engine. If I had to guess, I would say it's probably a 6.2 liter engine, because if we take a look a little bit further, let me zoom in on the rear of the truck and show you some of that. You can see still a dual exhaust system right here, very similar to the current truck. So because you can see the exhaust pipes and the dual exhaust system, this is probably not an electric truck, and it's probably not, a small engine or small displacement truck, because if they're actually going for it and making a ZR2 version of the Silverado, I think General Motors and Chevrolet would put the most powerful power plant possible. And here also you could see kind of a fender flare. You can kind of see kind of a large fender flare starting. So there might be, because the truck is wider, or maybe just the wheel offset is wider, they're trying to come up with a solution for it. So let's take a look a little bit further at the suspension system. So let's start in the front. Unfortunately, we cannot really see the shocks. You can see a little bit of wiring happening, going on right here, but I think it's more for the engine and not really for the shocks. But we do know that GM has been testing their spool valve Multimatic shocks on a full-size truck like the Silverado. They've taken it racing. So will this truck have that shock system and suspension system? Well, we can't quite tell from this particular prototype and these images. But they could definitely go there because they've raced them and they have a lot of information and a lot of testing based on that. If we look at the rear suspension, this is quite interesting. You can really see the leaf springs. So if you zoom in just a little bit further, right here, the leaf springs. So this truck does not have coils in the back. Of course, the next generation, the third gen Ford Raptor is going to coil suspension, a 5-link system in the back. Of course, the TRX has a 5-link coil suspension system in the rear. This truck does not appear to have that. But GM, especially with their trail bus truck that we had for a year, they can really dial in their shocks and actually offer both payload towing and really good ride off-road. So I know that they know how to do suspension systems. So this is probably one of their solutions. Here's another view of this prototype. In this view, the wheels and tires do look a little bit larger than what's available on the trail bus, but you could see it's a regular crew cab, of course, with a shorter bed, which makes total sense for maximum kind of breakover angle, departure angle, and approach angle. And it looks like there's quite a lot of clearance on this truck. I think GM really needs a truck like this, something beyond the trail bus capability and looks and technology, because the new F-150 Tremor is coming, of course the new Raptor is coming, the TRX is here, there's of course the Ram Rebel, the next generation Tundra TRD Pro is probably coming soon, and of course the Nissan Pro 4X. Those are all very capable vehicles, and I think GM would do really well if they actually produce and sell a truck like this. Here's another couple of close-ups. You could see first of all the headlights, the latest kind of iteration of that. We don't know exactly what this truck will look like, but it's getting a refresh. Of course, you could see the skid plate up here as well. You could see the front A control arms for the suspension system. Of course, you can see the tires and the tread quite a bit as well. So yeah, here's another look. So I'm guessing 6.2 liter V8, maybe a slight power boost with a performance intake and exhaust system, maybe around 450 horsepower. That's my personal guess. Of course, the rear solid axle, you can see the differential. Hopefully they have a selectable locker. That would be really super if they're able to actually put this into this truck. And that's kind of all we know so far. And I'm really curious what's underneath that cover. Maybe it's a kind of an air inlet on the hood, making the hood a little bit more aggressive. Could be the case. Let me know what you think. Could this be the Silverado 1500 ZR2, or is this just another trail bus prototype, or some other truck that GM is testing? So let me know in the comment section below. And as always, come back to TFLtruck.com and TFLoffroad.com for all the latest news, views, and real-world, independent, and honest truck reviews.